All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for an opportunity to highlight one of Gift of Life Michigan's awesome partners, Michigan HOSA. And we are here to talk about the great work that these students are doing to really improve the future of healthcare and all the great work that they have done thus far for the field of organ and tissue donation. I'm excited to talk about this with you guys. I'm Allison Gillum. I am the community relations coordinator in West Michigan for Gift of Life Michigan. So I do a lot of work with high school students to educate them, high school students, college students, really to educate them about the importance of organ and tissue donation. And it's been my privilege to head up our partnership with Michigan HOSA, which we'll get into here in just a second. But before we kind of get started with our conversation, I would love to just go around and have each of you introduce yourselves, kind of explain maybe what your role is with Michigan HOSA, what chapter you're from. And to make things easy, how about we start with Tristy, and then we'll have somebody go next after you.
Okay. Hi, guys. So my name is Tristy Gowda. I'm the president of Gift 8 Lives Club at Troy High School, which is a club that I co-founded that raises awareness of organ donation in our student body. So I'm also a member of Troy High HOSA. And because Gift 8 Lives and Troy High HOSA are working together for the HOSA Challenge, the Gift 8 Lives Club is running most of the activities for the event. So in essence, I'm pretty much representing Troy High.
Awesome. Thank you, Tristy. We appreciate all the great work that you do.
Thank you.
How about Lydia?
Hi guys, I'm Lydia. I'm a HOSA state officer for Michigan, and my role is membership recruitment director. But besides that, I'm also part of PSAP HOSA, which is from Chapter 5.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being a part of this tonight. Victoria, how about you?
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria Cross. I am a HOSA member through the Branch Area Career Center, and I am the Michigan State Video Director for 2020-2021.
Awesome. Thank you. Ajay.
Hi everyone, my name is Ajay Kumar, and I'm from the Farmington High School HOSA chapter. My role as events director for Michigan HOSA is to kind of facilitate the competitive events planning process and coordinate logistics for our conferences, as well as help with any group initiatives to involve members in HOSA.
So that means heading up the Gift of Life HOSA Challenge, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get to that. Awesome. Thanks for all the great work you do. How about Austin?
Hey guys, I'm Austin Taylor. I'm a state officer for Michigan HOSA. I am the media director, and I'm from Region 1 up in the UP. I graduated from Sioux Area High School, and I currently attend Saginaw Valley State University.
Woohoo. All right. And last but certainly not least, Miss Ria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ria Chakravarti. I'm currently a HOSA member of my chapter, which is the International Academy East, and I'm the president of Michigan HOSA.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all for being here and doing this. I'm excited about this opportunity to talk to students, because you guys are doing phenomenal work. And one of the things I wanted to mention in the beginning was when we first started our partnership with Michigan HOSA, and we first started doing the Gift of Life HOSA Challenge in 2019. So really not even 2 years ago yet that we started doing that. But in that time, you guys have registered over 1,300 new donors. It's actually, you know what? I think 1,300 was what you did for the last challenge. I think it's actually, our running total is closer to somewhere around 1,600 donors, something like that, which is phenomenal. It's unheard of, considering that when you think about the time that we've been doing the challenge, it really spans like in 6 weeks. The work that you guys put in 6 weeks, you registered that many new donors, which is phenomenal. So thank you. Thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. I would love to hear why you chose to get involved with Michigan HOSA. And maybe I'll just try to get input from a few of you. So Lydia, what about you? What interested you in HOSA, and how'd you get started with it?
So for me, it kind of started off as it was like a huge club at my school, but besides that, I kind of joined it. And I think something that's really special about it is, like one, you just have an interest in the medical field, but then within the competition, it's you get to choose what you're passionate about and then kind of dive deeper into that for your competition. So, like for me, I had a community awareness, and I think that was just really a perfect opportunity, just like being able to spread the awareness to the community, but also being like a part of HOSA and like something larger. So I think HOSA as a whole is kind of being able to get a glimpse of the medical field, see what you're passionate about, and see what you're really good at.
Yeah, and for I suppose I really should have started with this for people who are tuning in who maybe aren't members of HOSA or aren't as familiar with the organization. HOSA stands for Health Occupation Students of America, formerly known as that, and you guys are now call yourselves future health professionals, right? So that's what HOSA is, and it's a great group for people interested in health occupations and making a difference, like you said, Lydia. So thank you. Victoria, how about you? Why did you get involved with HOSA?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to go into healthcare, no doubt about it. That's what I wanted to do with my life. So when I started to go to school for that, that's when I first heard about HOSA. I didn't really know what it was, thought it might be fun, didn't realize how big of an impact it would have on my life. It's truly the most amazing organization out there. The learning, the opportunities, the giant family that it gives you. It was actually my wonderful advisor that really made it come to life for me. She saw how perfect of a fit HOSA was for me and my dream. So she encouraged me to run for state officer so that now in turn I can help members have their best HOSA experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just from my perspective, even in working with you guys for the last 2 years. I mean, I'm always so impressed at all the leadership opportunities and just all the skills and things you guys are learning and picking up from being a part of HOSA. I think it's just invaluable. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Austin?
Well, I actually was interested in HOSA about 5 years ago, being a freshman in high school. And I guess my initiative to join was just a little edge. I wanted to be a part of the medical field, and I wanted to explore all the possibilities. And Michigan HOSA really gave me that push to find out what I really wanted to do and to help me find a career path and a degree path for my future outside of high school.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Thank you. So I would love to hear maybe about some of the initiatives that you guys are working on right now that you are excited about. Ajay, I feel like that's sort of an appropriate question for you. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, so just recently we wrapped up HOSA Mission Games, which was kind of like a virtual competition for Michigan HOSA members to get involved in traditional HOSA activities. Well, and like since everyone's kind of bored at home, we wanted to create some sort of engaging challenge where students have to complete activities pertaining to healthcare, like volunteering for the Red Cross and donating PPE equipment in hospitals, poor hospitals, and like some fun activities as well, such as like wearing HOSA apparel. But now our focus is kind of towards the Gift of Life HOSA Challenge, where we want to like encourage as many school chapters as possible to join this challenge, because it kind of gives them a great opportunity to raise awareness of the importance of organ and tissue donation. So yeah, that's where our focus is mostly shifting toward now. So we hope to continue with that.
That's great. I don't know how you guys balance all the initiatives and projects that you're working on, but it certainly is very impressive. And we are so glad that you've chosen this cause to help raise awareness and to work with us. So thank you. Anybody else have anything you want to add, or Lydia or anybody, anything you're working on that Ajay didn't mention that you want people to know about? Did that cover it? Okay. So we know that you all joined HOSA because of your interest in healthcare. I'm just curious, you guys. Tristy, how about you? What what most interests you about the field of healthcare, and what kind of area of medicine do you want to go into eventually?
I mean, I'm not really sure exactly like which field of medicine that I want to go into, but for now, the part of healthcare that like really interests me is the altruistic nature. So I've been a Girl Scout for 10 years, and I really like love the philanthropy of Girl Scouts, and that same aspect is in the healthcare field, which I really like. And someone who's been a Gift of Life Michigan volunteer and an organ donation advocate for the past 4 years, I'm drawn to healthcare also because, you have the power to directly make an impact on someone's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Great answer. How about you, Austin?
For the longest time, I actually wanted to be a flight nurse, but for some odd reason, I changed my mind into the veterinarian side, moving towards the animals. Yeah, I love working with animals, dogs. They don't talk back to you as much, but they do like to bite. Really, I love working with the animals, so that's really my big push, and I get to, of course, work with the medicine. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool perspective, I think, too. Like when we talk about HOSA, it's not just, I mean, you can have an interest in veterinary science and things like that, and there's a place for everybody that's interested in the different types of medicine, and I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
I always have a healthy respect for vets, I gotta say. How about you? Let's see. How about Victoria? What about you? I'd actually like to hear from all of you really quickly what you're most interested in.
So I really, especially with this pandemic going on, would love to go into travel nursing, seeing what's needed all over the world and being of use there. But the aspect of healthcare that interests me most, besides caring for people, I personally love the teamwork that's involved, knowing that as a patient, you're not battling this alone, but also as a coworker. I believe that in a medical setting, well, in any setting in life, if we all put our heads together and help each other, that's when we receive the best outcome. So knowing that there's a whole field of people out there with the same set of goals that are able to work together and be greater and achieve that goal is super interesting and wonderful to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about you, Ria?
Well, specifically going into one area of healthcare, I don't know which one. Actually, a lot of them interest me at this point, but I think the aspect that I enjoy most about it is kind of the learning aspect. I love a lot of the subjects that are like the prerequisites that you're supposed to take. And I think what's even more interesting about it is not like a learning aspect, but also like the real life application when you actually start practicing and you get into your career. So the learning is definitely important, but I think like it just takes it to the next level when you start actually like doing it and getting some real experience, like face-to-face experience with patients.
Yeah, that's so invaluable. There's nothing quite like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Jay, how about you?
Well, I think as like a nerd myself, I'd probably say the most interesting aspect of healthcare for me is like the science underlying it personally. I think it's just fascinating how, especially with like so many diseases and conditions evolving every single day, healthcare workers and scientists have to like constantly find solutions to combat these diseases. And especially with like the current healthcare crisis going on and stuff, I think it's just amazing how there's so many companies out there trying to engineer a medicine and like a vaccine for the virus and stuff. And it's just like really cool, I guess. The science underlying it is probably the best part.
Yeah. You heard it from Ajay, the self-proclaimed nerd. No, that's great. That's great. I love it. I love that answer. How about you, Lydia?
Well, since I was young, I've always wanted to become a pediatrician, but I think the idea of kids, I just always loved kids, but I think the idea of health and then combining it, I was like, oh, being a pediatrician would be perfect. But recently, as I was looking into college, public health kind of grabbed my heart. I'm not really sure why, but I think like especially because of our current situation, it's really cool how like beyond just the medical field, everything kind of intertwines, like business and like technology and engineering, like it all kind of plays into a factor of medicine. So I think I don't know, I think just the health field is really cool, and just you can do so many things about it.
Definitely. It's just there's so many different ways you can be involved with it and make a huge impact. And I mean, you are always going to be in demand, your skills and services. So yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, you guys. Ajay and Ria, I want to hear from you guys. Just I know because I've been working with you guys most closely on the HOSA Challenge. What is it about the HOSA Challenge that you think kind of most closely aligns with the mission of HOSA? Like, why is it important for you guys to be involved in that?
Well, so HOSA's primary mission, like if we were to give it really briefly, is to kind of just empower students to become leaders in like the health community through like education, collaboration, and experience. And I think the Gift of Life HOSA Challenge kind of fits perfectly with this mission because it allows students to educate the public on just how valuable organ and tissue donation is. And I think like oftentimes the reason why people don't sign up for organ donations or any cause for that matter is because they just aren't aware of the importance. And I think that's where HOSA really comes in and kind of acts like a bridge between organizations like Gift of Life and the broader community. So I think education is one of the main aspects that HOSA brings into the Gift of Life HOSA Challenge.
Yeah, that's great. Tristy, from the perspective of somebody, you know, you're heading it up for your chapter at Troy High School. Why? I mean, you've kind of already outlined why this is important to you, but why does your HOSA chapter choose to get involved in this?
Well, you know, when Gifted Lives and Troy High HOSA, we kind of paired up to work on the HOSA Challenge last year, and we placed 4th out of 25 chapters. And we were actually able to sign up 135 people on the organ donor registry. So it was kind of an easy decision for us to get involved with it again this year. But if I were to talk about like, you know, why we got involved in the first place, I'd say that, you know, the main reason why we wanted to do it is to make sure that students at, you know, Troy High and in our community in general were knowledgeable about of organ donation, because, you know, when you receive your driver's license for the first time, you're going to be asked, like, do you want to be an organ donor? And you have to check yes or no. And, you know, I think that it's really important that all teenagers, when they get their driver's license, are knowledgeable and are educated and know what decision to make that's right for them. So I think that the HOSA Challenge is like a really great way to do that because, you know, it's a competition. So I think it allows for all students, but like just Troy High students in particular, you know, from my point of view, to get more excited about organ donation because, you know, they want their school to win the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is so great because it's you know, it's one thing for someone like me to talk about organ donation and the importance of it, but it's another thing to hear it coming from your peers, you know, and to turn it into a way to kind of support your school, support your HOSA chapter, and give back that way. So that's great. Thank you so much for that. I'd love to know too, you guys, since we've started this partnership between Michigan HOSA and Gift of Life, what have you learned about organ and tissue donation? Like, were there any of you that didn't really know too much about this before you started working with us? Or I'd just love to hear maybe, Lydia, from your perspective from being one of the state officers, was there anything new that this has taught you as kind of this new partnership?
To be completely honest, I barely knew anything about it before, but I think something that was kind of surprising and also really good to emphasize is just how anybody can make a difference. I think a lot of people have the mentality, it's like, oh, younger kids, like minorities, like you don't really get much of a power to make a difference. But I think through donations, like all ages are possible. And then on top of that, it's also really surprising how just one donation could impact so many people. Like it's not just a one-on-one ratio, but it's just so many people that you can make a difference on.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Victoria? I know you have the perspective of being a state officer, and I know Branch Area Career Centers has done the HOSA Challenge before too. So I'm guessing you may have been involved in that way too with your chapter. Did you know much about organ and tissue donation before you got involved with this?
Before I joined HOSA, I did not, which now that I am a member and am actively participating is so surprising. But through the partnership with the Gift of Life, one thing that I learned that really stuck out to me was that just one organ donor can save up to 8 lives. So even if you have a medical history or a birth defect, that doesn't rule you out from being a donor. With all the new discoveries, technology, like Ajay said, the science, the ongoing advances, the donor pool has increased greatly, which is amazing not only for the recipients, of course, but also for the people who are now able to donate. And it's so important for people to know about all of these advances, because the more people that donate, the more lives can be saved. And I think, especially as state officers, we have a great platform here to reach out to our peers and bring attention to this.
Yeah, absolutely. It just highlights, I think a lot of people don't really know much about donation, maybe if it doesn't really impact their life, in some way. A lot of people just haven't had a reason to learn more about it, or, they know what it is, but don't truly know how it works. So I'm glad to hear that through this partnership, you guys are learning more about it. Austin, I'm just curious too. I know you have participated in years past as well. Did you know much about organ and tissue donation before you got involved with the challenge?
So I knew about, of course, the driver's license things. I signed up for that for my driver's license. But last year, Gift of Life really came to my attention with my HOSA chapter back in Sault Ste. Marie. Started getting involved in the Gift of Life challenge, and I started reading into it more. And I think it's a really great thing to have. We try to let these young people, these high schoolers or whoever, try to sign up for this. And I think it's just a fantastic thing that the challenge is doing. And it, of course, gives you a push for a challenge too. So I just thought it was a great thing. And we did a great job up there too. We got interviewed for the news, so we tried making it a big thing up there. And it's good to see like schools like Troy High School trying to make it a bigger thing. You have a bigger student basis, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it's so awesome to have you guys get involved. And I think it's one of the things that I've loved about it is how it has been an opportunity to really highlight the great work that Michigan HOSA students are doing. I know there was a great news story done on the work that your chapter was doing up in Sault Ste. Marie. So and many others have also had stories printed and shared. So that's great. Anytime we can highlight the awesome work that you guys do, that's obviously it's a win-win, right? So yes. So for students who are interested in health occupations and maybe would like to learn more about getting involved with HOSA, I would love to hear what advice you guys have. Maybe Ria or Ajay. How about say students that maybe we can give 2 examples. Maybe students who have a chapter at their school already, what they might need to do to get involved. And then those who don't have a chapter, but maybe would be interested in starting one. If you could give us a little more info on how that works, that would be great.
Okay, I guess I'll start on this one. So regarding one of the sub-questions that you were asking, if they do not have a chapter at their school, how do they go about getting one? So one way to do that is if they want to reach out to any of us, they can find our contact information on the Michigan HOSA website. Or if they want to take some initiative and start right away, there's a YouTube video on the Michigan HOSA YouTube channel made by previous state officers, and it kind of gives a breakdown on exactly how to start a chapter at your school. But just super briefly, what you'll need an advisor to sponsor your chapter, and then you'll want to email our state director, Mr. Burley, to affiliate your school with the state organization. And then there's also more resources available on the HOSA website. So you can definitely check that out for more information and some helpful tools.
Yeah, and adding on to Ria, for members that are part of HOSA already, I think one of the best ways for them to get involved is to mainly ask their healthcare advisor or whoever's running their HOSA chapter inside their school, because they have the most recent information and updates about like current challenges, events, and like competitions like the Gift of Life that's taking place. And these competitions always aim to engage students interested in the health occupations. So definitely they should, ask whoever's in charge to like see what they can do. And yeah.
Great. That sounds great. And we've been talking a lot about like the high school aspect of HOSA, but Austin, would you enlighten us about how college students can get involved with HOSA as well?
Yeah, that's actually a big question I've had from past members of HOSA on campus. Basically, it's the same thing for the high school. You have to start a chapter. You need an advisor. We suggest we'd like a minimum of 7 students. But it's the same thing. You can compete. You can go to competitions, be a big part of it. So it's the same thing pretty much.
Awesome. Great. It's just seems like just really an awesome leadership opportunity, and just the hands-on experience you guys are getting and all the skills that you're developing. What a great organization to be involved with. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to chat with us tonight and talk about Michigan HOSA and all the great things that you're doing. I would strongly encourage everybody who's watching, go check out michiganhosa.org for more information about this awesome organization, and be sure to support them. If you know a student who is interested in health occupations, I highly encourage them to check it out and see if they have a chapter at their school, or maybe somebody would like to start one. That would be great. So I can't say enough about the work that the Michigan HOSA students have done to raise awareness for the importance of organ and tissue donation. So through our Gift of Life HOSA Challenge, there are 2 ways actually that schools can get involved and compete in our friendly competition. So we've talked about the number of donors that schools have registered, and it is an incredible amount. Again, thank you for that. But also, one of the things chapters are doing is they're getting involved, they're doing activities that further awareness of organ and tissue donation. So they're not just out there just registering people, they're also doing a variety of activities to help educate fellow students, peers, teachers, really their communities about the importance of organ and tissue donation. And that's really an important message. And we're just so grateful to you guys for helping us share that message in the communities where you live. So I think that's all I have. Any parting thoughts from anybody?
I mean, I guess I can say a couple of words. I definitely say that if you are like really interested in getting involved with like, advocating for organ donation, if you, found a passion through the HOSA Challenge, I definitely suggest that you, look into volunteering with Gift of Life Michigan. Like I've been a volunteer for the past 4 years, and, it's just been an amazing experience just being able to have like one-on-one conversations with not just my classmates, but like, complete strangers at like community events, and being able to, dispel the myths, because there are a lot about organ donation. Just dispelling those misconceptions can have a really great impact. And, when you remember that signing one person up can ultimately save 8 lives, it's just a really satisfying and, happy feeling. So I definitely suggest that.
Yeah, thank you. That's great insight. And you're so right. And I think others of you mentioned this tonight too, like anybody has the power to make an impact like this. It doesn't matter your age, your health status. It's something we all can get involved in doing. I think that is actually just one of the other great things about this challenge, is that everybody can be involved and everybody can make a difference. And there are so many careers in the field of organ and tissue donation. I'd be here forever if I listed them all off, but there's certainly a lot of things, outside of the obvious, organ recovery, tissue recovery, things like that. There there are just so many different careers that touch this field. So if anybody out there that's been involved with the HOSA Challenge, is interested in this field as you're learning more about it, you can always contact us at Gift of Life Michigan too. We'd be happy to give you more information about careers, volunteer opportunities, things like that. So thank you all for joining us tonight and sharing your perspectives. And again, I just have to give a big thank you to you for all the work that you do to support the Gift of Life HOSA Challenge, but just in general, you're a great partner year round in educating people about the importance of organ and tissue donation. So thanks again. And thank you everybody for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.